your parents move to Harlow?
Yes.
Tell me a little about when did they come to Harlow and why?
In 2002, because they couldn't afford any homes in Enfield and they wanted a garden.
All right, okay. And now that's interesting because that's often the story from the people in the 50s and 60s who have said, you know, we moved out because of lack of accommodation affordable in Enfield, Edmonton, North London, etc., etc. So they've been here since 2002, okay. And did your parents find work here?
My mum used to go back to Enfield and do her nursing job, and her first Harlow job was a cleaning job.
Okay, okay. And do you think, did they enjoy living in Harlow?
Yeah, my mum's made a good friend network, and she's got all the things close that she needs, like parks and schools, so she likes living here.
Okay, and okay, that's good. Do you think, so they've been here, what, 15 years? I'm good at maths. And so do you enjoy living in Harlow?
I like it, yeah. I like the schools, I like the friends that I've made.
Why? Why is it your friends and the school and?
Yeah. Although my grandparents still live in Enfield, so I like going back there and talking to the people there, and I've got friends there. So. In their hearts, are your parents maybe you know, but do they feel like they're Londoners living in Harlow, or are they people from Harlow now? I say my dad says he's from Harlow, but my mum will always be an Edmonton girl. So.
That's an interesting first angle, as I said, because that is a theme, isn't it, that's about identity and place. Young lady, your name is?
I'm Megan.
Megan. Okay, and so your parents moved to Harlow?
Yeah, in 2003. So
okay.
My mum was in a bit of an unhealthy relationship, so she came to Harlow with one of her friends and lived on her couch for a while, and then they kind of moved in together, and they got like a room, and she started working in Tesco's, so yeah.
And does your mum still enjoy living in Harlow?
Yeah, obviously she's still worried about like, the hate crimes and things that are going on at the moment, but she does like living here because the infrastructure is good for what she needs, because when I was younger she had everything she needed, and now that I'm older she still has everything that she needs and could watch me to do, so. Good.
Good word. For year 9 infrastructure, I am very impressed. Yeah.
That's geography, that's geography.
Is that geography? Oh, okay. So what does that mean? What does that mean, the infrastructure?
So all like the schools and the hospitals and the things like that that you can't really live without, because you need them to function as a part of society.
And of course we mentioned history. You get places in London and it looks very old, or someplace old. Are you aware Harlow looks sort of relatively, in the scheme of things, in the scheme of sort of 2,000 years, etc., does it feel newish?
Not really, because there are some parts that are quite new, but there are also some parts that are really old and have been kept ever since Harlow was first founded, so it's a mixture.
But you mentioned the hate crime. Is that something that comes up in conversation a lot here in 2017?
Not casually, because obviously it's not a nice thing to talk about. I think it just comes up more on the news and things like that, so it kind of sparks from there.
And if you see Harlow getting a bad rap, you know, does that annoy you? Do you feel defensive and think, that's my town?
Not really, because it's just a town. There's nothing really more that you can do about it. You can't just march up to the council and go, oh, this isn't right. Because they probably will look at you like you're crazy.
Oh, yeah. Could be good. Young man.
Hey, I'm Franklin.
Franklin. Okay, tell me about when your parents came to Harlow.
Well, it was, while I was living in Ireland, because me and my dad and my sisters, we lived in Ireland with my mum as well. And then my
in
dad,
Ireland?
Yeah, in Ireland, Limerick.
In Limerick?
Yeah.
All right.
And then my mum and my dad came to an agreement to like bring my mum to England, and then my mum could like find like a good job, because like my mum and dad, they were struggling at Ireland like to find like jobs. And then they first moved to Peckham, and then we thought Peckham was like a bit of a dangerous place to be living in the schools. We didn't really like it. So when we came to Harlow, my mum found Princess Alexandra Hospital, because she was a nurse then, and she still is now. And we found it, and then we found it, and the schools and everything was really good here. So we finally decided to move here to 2010.
All right. Since you come from Ireland, my parents came from Ennis.
Yeah.
Just up the road from Limerick, etc. We're not here to talk about me.
Yeah.
Thank you. And Peckham.
Yeah, Peckham.
Dodgy?
Yeah, really dodgy. It's quite intimidating.
It's a technical term I use there, by the way. Yeah.
It's quite intimidating because like there's a lot of like bad gangs. Will I say?
I don't know any good ones.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of them in Peckham, and then when we moved to Harlow, it was really quiet. But then I guess when you get used to it, everything just becomes like normal and happy. So then we liked it here, and then my dad officially moved here as well, because it was first me and my mum and my sisters. We moved together, and then my dad was still at Ireland, and then he officially came, and then we all moved in.
And does your mum still work at the hospital?
Yeah.
Does she like working at the hospital?
Yeah, she does. She's been. It's like I would call it her day one, because like she came like 2010, and they really liked her and everything. But she still does some agency work in like Peckham and all that. So. What
is her job?
She's a nurse.
She's a nurse, right?
Yes, yeah.
Good, good. My mum was a nurse at Princess Edward's. I've got so much in common. Where did you get your confidence from? Because I came here, this is not really to do with this, but I came here and you immediately said, hello sir, and shook me by the hand. Is that something you've naturally, has that been instilled?
Naturally.
Yeah?
Naturally, yeah. Oh. Since I was young.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Hold you in good stead that will, because I remembered it. But like The Apprentice yesterday, isn't it? Just these little things, the little touches are good.
Yeah.
Let's go. Yes, young man. Your name is?
I'm Kai. Nice to meet you.
And yourself?
My parents moved to Harlow in 1999 when my dad was only 23.
Right.
They moved from Waltham Abbey.
Okay.
The reason they moved here is like two reasons. The houses in Waltham Abbey was quite a bit expensive compared to the ones in Harlow, and also my mother's families moved to Harlow, so they were located in Harlow.
And they're happy here?
Yeah. The reason they haven't really moved anywhere is because me and my older sister Chanel, we've kind of settled in Harlow, and I've got a younger sister as well who's now settling in as well. So. And
again, I'll just throw these random questions out. If you have to describe Harlow to other people, how do you describe it?
Bit of everything.
Yeah?
Yeah, you've got amazing schools, you've got NHS, we've just got everything you need to be a good town. So. Yeah.
And what do you do in the weekends? Are you busy? Do you do something?
Sports. A lot of sports. There's just a lot.
What sport do you do?
Mainly football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What position do you play?
Striker now.
Striker.
Yeah.
Okay.
But,
what team do you play for?
Wisdomwood.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just think in Harlow there's a lot of opportunities. So there's now Harlow Youth Council, which you can just join, and it's just amazing opportunities like that. What you probably won't get in other places.
Do you think you'll move?
When I'm older, I think my parents will stay in Harlow now, but I think I'll move out of Harlow when I.
Yeah. Why? Why do you think?
I just want to travel the world when I'm older.
Do you see places on a map or on TV and you think, oh, I'd like to see them?
Yeah, exactly.
Anywhere in particular?
Abroad.
Yeah.
Definitely abroad.
Isle of Wight?
I've been there a few times.
Right.
Probably Cancun.
Cancun?
Yeah.
Right.
Because I have, I say I have friends. My parents' friends have been there, and it's just a lovely place and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's somewhere where I'd definitely love to go.
Quickly going back to other people. So your name again was?
Megan.
Megan. Would you move? Do you think you might move out of Harlow eventually?
Yeah, because I want to go to uni, and so I think I'd move closer towards the uni, for example, like Cambridge or Oxford, and not probably in the uni. Yeah, probably in the uni. That might be a good idea. But I think I would move just for jobs and things like that, because even Harlow, there is jobs here, but some of the jobs aren't very high paying, so it's a bit.
And you can come back.
Yeah.
You don't have to say that. Yeah, you're not excluded forever. Let's go. Right, your name is?
My name is Claudia, and my parents came to England when I was 3, so it was in 2006. And at first, me and my mum.
Where did your parents come from?
Poland.
Poland, okay.
I didn't talk any English, neither did my mum. My dad talked a little bit, but just about enough to get a job. So my mum's first job was as a volunteer down at the Treehouse Centre. She worked there for a bit, and then I'm not actually sure what my dad's first job was, but my stepdad's first job, he worked at Lloyd's Pharmacy. So, and he still works there now. So.
And as we're a website that goes around the world, whereabouts in Poland? Do you remember any names of towns and cities? That's a rotten question.
It's like a really small town. It's just like everyone kind of knew each other.
Yeah.
So it was really different coming here, where we didn't know anyone at first, but it's like I've grown up here, and like I've got 3 sisters, and they were all born here as well. So I think that's kind of like the main reason we stayed here, because we kind of stumbled across it by accident. It was like the first place we could afford. So, and then we just kind of stayed here because.
How hard was it to learn the English language?
I can't really remember because I was like, obviously I was just starting preschool.
Right.
But then I remember in reception being in bottom set everything and being really, really bad at maths. But then I've kind of like got better, and like there's been loads of people to help me as well. So now like, and then by the end of primary school I was in top set everything. So it was a big like climb up to it, but got there in the end. So.
Good, good. Do you think one day, have you been back to Poland?
Yeah, not to live there, but like we always go on holiday to visit my like nan and everyone. So.
And what do you like about Harlow?
I mainly like, it's quite a small town, but I like the people in it, and I like going to school most of the time. So far from when I'm tired.
What do you? I mean, again, you know, we're here in Stewards Academy, and you know, you're free to speak. You know, it's, what do you like about Stewards Academy?
I like because everyone's really friendly. Like I wouldn't be shy to talk to a teacher about anything. Like you can just go up to anyone and start a conversation, and it'll be fine.
Because Stewards, you know, is a very important. I was actually just down at Harlow Museum. I previous to Harlow Museum, and there was 2 photographs of Stewards Academy there. They've got a new exhibition, but it's very much part of Harlow's history, isn't it? And so, do you think you might leave Harlow eventually?
I want to, because like again, I want to like travel, and I really want to go to New York just to see what it's like. And I think my parents, they want to go as well. Like, they like it here, but they want to, like, after they retire, they kind of just want a break. So my stepdad, he's from Tunisia, and he's got a house by the beach. So like after they retire, they want to go and live there just to kind of relax a little bit.
Thank you. Young lady, your name is?
I'm Esther.
Okay, Esther. And tell us about your parents when they came to Harlow.
Me, my mum and my little sister first moved here in 2010, and then my older brother and sister and my dad came here like a year later, I think.
From where?
From France, in Lyon.
In whereabouts in France?
Lyon.
Lyon.
Yeah.
Now whereabouts is Lyon in France?
It's like near Paris.
Yep.
Like, I'm not sure, like a couple hours drive in car. 2 hour drive, perhaps, isn't it? I'm not sure, I haven't driven from Paris in a while.
Okay. So tell us about your. How old are you? How old? So that was 2010. So that's 7 years ago.
I was 6 when I
6.
was here.
Can you remember your first year, your first days here in Harlow?
Yeah, like on the first day of school, I remember coming in late because like I didn't know where to go, and like on the first.
I thought it was just a French thing. Yeah.
It's just a French. And like I didn't understand English like Claudia. And so I didn't know about lunch, because in France you go home for lunch, and so it was like packed lunch or school dinner, and I didn't know what they were. So it was, I don't know, it was a struggle, but it was fun.
And could you speak English when you came in?
No.
No. And how was that learning English?
I don't know. It's like, because picking up language is like because you're around people who speak English 24/7, so you just start picking it up and how they talk in the slang, and then you also going to school, so you have to learn it, like the phonics and all that.
And your parents, did they go back to France?
We went there, I think last year, but then we also go back to Ghana, which is where my parents are from.
Right. Okay. So they moved from Ghana to France.
And then we moved here. Yeah.
Because was Ghana part of the French Empire? Is that the connection?
I think it's either the French Empire or the British Empire, and it was like Gold Land.
Yeah.
Gold Land or something like that before.
Yeah.
It's
like
in the
Gold Coast or something.
Yeah, Gold Coast.
Yeah. Do you enjoy living in Harlow?
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
It's nice and easy.
To what?
I don't know.
It's just but you feel relaxed.
Yeah.
You're clearly a relaxed group here.
It's like you could get around without like any struggle. Like there's the bus, there's all the public transport, and then there's like everything's close.
I've got the 2 other gentlemen to do yet, and then we're going to go to Jamie. Is knowing about your roots, your family roots, and this is a question to anybody, is that important? What we're doing here? If you're nodding, so
yeah.
why?
It's it's your family. It's very personal. I don't. If you don't know about what's behind you, it kind of leaves you in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't really know a lot about my family because I have quite a small family.
Mm-hmm.
So it just kind of wonder, like, who's that person? You could be walking past somebody and be related to them and you don't even know.
That bit out, yes. What happened to that bit of waffle? Young man, your name is?
I'm Kai.
Kai.
Kind of.
My parents moved here in 2001 because they just thought it was a lot more affordable for where they were staying originally, which was, my mum was in Enfield and she still worked there when she moved to Harlow. She was a teacher. And my dad was in, I think he was just outside London, and he worked as a projectionist.
Yeah. What? At a cinema?
Yeah, at cinema, yeah. And then they both moved here because it was more affordable. But my mum was still working in Enfield, so she quit that job, and then she's now working at a school down the road.
And what about, oh, it's an unfair question to you, what about your grandparents? Are you aware about where your grandparents are from, or great-grandparents are from?
My grandparents, well, my grandma on my mum's side came from Ireland in West Cork.
All right.
Yeah, and I don't know where.
Do you know the surname or any names at all?
My grandma is Nora Wallace.
Right.
Yeah, she moved to Chesham. I can't remember when, it was a long time ago.
That's all right. We're not doing Who Do You Think You Are?
Yeah.
The documentary. Maybe you might return. It is interesting,
Yeah.
isn't it? It's interesting. Do you enjoy living in Harlow?
I do, yeah.
What do you like about it?
Just, I'm not really sure what I like about it. It's just everything, really, because we've got so much. We have so many opportunities. Like I do a lot of swimming, and that's one of the main reasons we stayed here, is because I got involved in clubs and activities outside of school.
Do you see plenty of opportunities here in Harlow? Yeah.
I think there's more than enough opportunities. I just think a lot of people moan about a lot of stuff without trying to correct it themselves. So they'd be like, oh, there's no opportunities, but they're not actually putting themselves out there to get the opportunities. So that's why I think a lot of people don't see the opportunities.
Easy to focus on the negative.
Yeah,
than the
than
positive.
trying to make
Is
it
it?
positive.
Sometimes have a positive mindset. Would you describe yourselves, have you got a positive mindset?
I hope so. I'd like to think I do. I think I'm quite positive about it.
Can I speak politics for a second? We met your
No.
Not to get angry.
No. You mentioned your roots are from Poland. Did you get upset about the coverage of what happened in the Stowe?
Not
Is it
really.
okay to ask that? Yeah?
I didn't, but I was like, it would be the same thing if it was anyone from any other country.
Right.
So it didn't really, obviously I was upset about it, but not because the person was Polish, just because of what had happened.
Somebody died.
Yeah.
Yeah. You didn't start thinking the whole
No.
Brexit thing and press all over the place, etc.
No, I think it just depends the way you look at it. Because some people, I know my mum's got a lot of Polish friends, and I know that some people were saying that, but then it's not like it's happening every single week or anything. It was one thing. So I don't think it's the end of the world, and I think people can just kind of move past it.
Okay. It's going well. So, young man, I'm sorry. No, please. Take it personally now, aren't
Time
you?
to shine.
Yeah, it's time to shine. Your name is?
7.
7?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like the number.
Does everybody do that? They go 7. Yes. Okay. And when did your parents come to Harlow?
I think I'm the most recent here. My parents moved here 2 years ago.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So we moved from Hainault, just 30-40 minutes away. And I think they moved here because one of the main reasons was because I had family here. But it was because it was more affordable than where we used to live. And that's really why they moved, I think.
And do they work here in Harlow? Or?
My dad doesn't work, but my mum just a month ago, 2 months ago, got a teaching job, a teaching assistant. So she works.
Not here though?
Not here,
no. Okay. Enjoy living in Harlow?
I think it's good. Like, like Kai said, there's a lot of opportunities, and it's when people are like, oh, you don't have much to do in Harlow. Where I used to live, you didn't have much, like the events that they have in the town centre, I think is brilliant, because where I used to live, they didn't have anything like that. They'd have, the switching on of the Christmas lights, but there's so many, the ice rink that was there on Thursday, there's so many opportunities and events that were going on. I think it's brilliant.
So where, your parents or grandparents, do you know where they're originally from?
My mum's from Romania, and that's where I used to live till I was 3, and my dad's from Cyprus.
Oh, right. Have you ever been there, Romania?
I haven't been to Cyprus. I've been to Romania a few times. I used to go every year, but 3-4 years ago we stopped going because it was a lot of money, so we thought we'd stop it.
And what did you tell us about Romania, or the part of Romania you went to?
I used to live, I think it was called Bucharest.
Yeah.
And it's because my grandma and my granddad lived there. But we don't visit there much anymore. We try to get them to come and visit over here because the flights are cheaper than going over there and staying a week in the summer holidays. Because they're obviously older and they don't work, it's a lot easier to get them to come over when we're in school, and it's just a lot more affordable than because the prices go up in the summer holidays.
Do you see yourself living in Harlow? Do you see yourself moving?
I'd like to move, but then again, I'd like to stay with. It depends on what other people are doing, because I'd like to stay with my friends. And
throw that question out. Anybody like to answer it?
I have no idea.
University.
I want to do an apprenticeship.
Right. Okay. I'll go to university first, and then we'll go to apprenticeship. Why university?
I want to be a vet when I'm older. I've always had that passion since I was little.
Yeah.
So I really want to follow my dream and do that as a career.
3 A levels at science?
Yeah.
Yeah? That's what I'd ask.
Hopefully.
Yeah? And what about A levels then? Will you, you're only year 9, I know that, but you've got to think a bit ahead. Where would you possibly have to go to do A levels?
Well, it depends. I might go to college, I might apply to one of the schools here, or I might move in with my nan and apply to one of the schools in Enfield.
All right.
It depends on what is going on at the time, what my friends are doing, and what's available.
You've thought about it though, haven't you?
Yeah.
Hasn't Burnt Mill bought the old Parsons building and they're going to turn it into a...
Yeah, the 6 wing.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Sir Frederick Gibbard College, so that's the plan there. But that's quite a way down. It may be there by the time, I'm not sure about that.
It's meant to be done like 20.
Yeah, he said it was going to be done in
Right.
2020.
Yeah. How about yourself? What's the plan?
To be honest, I don't really know, to be honest, because like, obviously like some boys out there, they always say, oh yeah, I want to be a footballer, but I think if that doesn't work out for me, I've got a second chance of being like a doctor. Yeah, personally.
Do you play football?
Yeah, I do.
Do you play in Harlow or?
Yeah, I play for Harlow Town.
Do you?
Yeah.
Ah, what age group is that?
Under 14s.
Ah, excellent.
Yeah.
What position?
Centre back.
Centre back. Who's the best? Who's your football-wise in the Premier Leagues, etc., or perhaps the Bostik Division 1 North? Who's your role model? What player do you think that's a great player?
I've got Zuma, but like for Harlow, if you're gonna say Harlow, Ibrahim Sonko, because he used to play in the Premier League for like Reading, Ipswich, and now he plays for Harlow, and he's just a really good centre back, big, black player. He's tall, strong. Yeah.
And often do you? How often do you train?
Train quite a lot.
Yeah.
Because like before I started playing for Harlow, I used to play for Norwich, but then I got released, but now I play for Harlow, so I do train quite a lot. But if it doesn't work out, I want to be a doctor. If it doesn't work out.
Yeah. Again, sciences.
Yeah.
You good at sciences?
I'm alright.
Okay.
I'm alright. I wouldn't say I'm the best, but I'm alright.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
It's good for you. Good for you.
Yeah.
Back to yourself. 5 years time, 10 years time.
Again, young kids dream footballer,
Yeah.
but obviously you've got to expect the worst, in my opinion. So if that don't work out, which probably won't, I've taken GCSE PE as a backup because I'm in love with sports. So I just want to be something with sports, so maybe a teacher or a therapist or something.
Do you think you'll do sport for life? Do you think you'll still do stuff
Mm-hmm.
and keep it going?
Yeah.
Is that important?
Yeah, that's a thing, that's like my bucket list. stay in sports.
Yeah.
No matter what. Yeah.
Good.
So.
5 years' time, 10 years' time?
I don't know. Like, I recently got asked by my big sister what I wanted to be when I was older, and I told her that I didn't know, but she said that to get internship, because that'd be like easier for the future, instead of just like going to university is good. Like that's what I want to do, but also having like that work experience seems like a good idea as well, because that's what jobs are looking for.
Does and again, I'm asking these questions because we're laying foundations here. We may well come back and find you in 5 years' time, you know, etc. You know, or you know, just catch up maybe with a couple of people, because that's sometimes always interesting to do. But what about things like you talk about university, but they're loans, aren't they? All the loans, and does that? I mean, back in 1981, I got what you call here we go. I was at university up in Scotland for 4 years. I got full grant, and they also paid my travelling expenses. You know? But does that not worry you? You know, things like.
Definitely.
Yeah. Why?
Well, it's money. Money is what the world revolves around. If you don't have enough, that's your life sort of gone.
Yeah.
But if that's my dream, then I'm going to find a way to do it.
Before you go to uni and things like that, you have to worry about like living conditions, having somewhere to live, food, water. There's so many other things and taxes that you need to do before you can think about other expenses like university. It's just a bit.
You're all very, again, we're talking about, we've done the past and the present, the future, etc. You all come across as confident. I don't think you can kid a kidder. You all come across as confident people, you know. And I don't think, if we're here for, you know, I was in your year, what would be 1976, 77. You know, I'm not sure it was that confident. You know. So, is that a natural thing you have? You know, you're all quite articulate and confident. No? Do you see yourself as confident?
Yep.
Sometimes.
It depends what it depends what
so
it is.
you first and then yourself second.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes because some of us here do like drama, and a lot of acting, and most of us here did GCSE, have just taken GCSE drama.
Oh, right.
So, yeah, I think that's where most of our confidence has come from, because we do production.
Some people I'm looking familiar. Have you spoken on the school stage at an event?
I did when the Duke Conductors came. I did a.
Oh, right. So you're in our film. We filmed the. So you're there. All right. Hey, repeat fees. You're not getting repeat fees on YouTube. But so the confidence, you were clearly confident then, and you're confident now. But where does that come from?
I was so shy in primary school. I didn't talk, and then I think I was still quite shy when I first came to Stewards. But then I don't know, it just all of a sudden I was like, yeah, I'm not going to be shy anymore. And it just wasn't. I kind of just decided I didn't want to be shy, and then just started doing things. And then the more you do something, I think the less. Although when I did do the speech, I was shaking.
Right. I'm not surprised. Yourself, confident?
I don't think I'm confident, but I've put myself up to do stuff. So student council. I was like, oh, I'm going to be shaking when I do my speech, but I want to be part of the student council, so let's get the speech over with, and then I could just be behind the scenes and helping.
Criticism of Harlow, or here in 2017, of things you might want to change if you could, if you were made MP for Harlow or leader of Harlow, what would you change? Yes, hand up straight away.
There's a massive hospital, Alexandria Hospital, but I think not necessarily hospitals we need to work on, but doctors. I know they're going to be building one quite close to the school, but I just feel like I'm the worst with injuries. I'm always injured and fly stuff like that.
Yeah.
I just feel like, say I do get hurt quite bad, travelling, say across town with an injury, it might not be like life-saving or something. I feel like they should have a different one located, maybe across town or something.
Okay, hospital, that's interesting. But yes.
So I am somebody who's had a lot of blood tests, so having a new hospital down there is going to be a big help. But when you have to go down to the Princess Alexandra and you walk into the phlebotomy department and you pick up a number, the number up there is about 70, and your number's 42, and you have to sit there because you can't just leave you have to sit there, and it's about 2 phlebotomists working, and you kind of have to sit there and wait, and there's not a lot of people working, and then you see people leaving, and you just kind of think, wait, can you not just do it? And I think there should be more people working in hospitals. I know it's obviously not that easy, but I think there should be a bigger campaign for younger doctors and things like that.
Well, that's not just a Harlow thing.
I know, but I find it a lot in Harlow.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that statistic that came out the other month, where of the 137 hospitals, Harlow has the longest wait for A&E, or the slowest response time for accident and emergency.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
No, you know, but as you said, it's only 40% of the clientele are actually from Harlow. It's catering, you know, because they've closed other places. Other people, there's that big demand. What else? Come on, I'm going to change this place, improve it if you need to.
Well, I think if you're going to build more houses, then build more facilities for the houses. So if it's doctors or dentists, or if you're putting more people in, then you need to put more facilities in for the people.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. Anything else? Yeah.
I think Harlow's really amazing for the land we do have. So like the new rugby club that was built, the old rugby club's now getting turned into houses. So like what Kate said, but the opposite. Instead of trying to get more stuff crammed in, Harlow's going to turn into like a really cramped place. I think keep some places as just like a public park, because I do think Harlow is known for like its green places. Don't try and change Harlow.
Try and find a balance between the facilities we need and a park, and like the parks and green spaces.
Okay, yeah.
We're a sculpture town. You can't get rid of the sculptures and then say we're a sculpture town.
Yeah.
It's pointless.
Okay, yeah. Anything else you'd like to change, improve, criticisms?
Litter's another big thing. Is like you walk along the street, you see some people spitting on the ground, and it's not pleasant.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, with the litter thing, I was like maybe having like a, because like in our school we have an eco club which go around the school picking up litter. So like having something like that, but for like Harlow in general. Because like I've tried looking for that, but I don't think you can do that.
No. And going about what I call comment bingo, if you put a story up, you know, on the side, the comment bingo. If you put somebody does a litter pick, in fact, I think young Harlow Labour did a litter pick, and they sent me a story and actually sent me a film, which is great because, you know, stay at home. It's cold. It's a hard-written journalist, you know. But people often put, that's the council's job. I pay my council tax. Why should I join a litter pick? Is that type of thinking alien to you?
There's only so many people in the council, so you can't assume them to do a job which the community should be able to do themselves. If people didn't litter in the first place, you wouldn't have to assume the council would do it.
Okay.
I'm like a strong believer in, you need something done, do it. Like,
yourself.
don't always be like, oh, I've got to do this, can you do it with me? Or like, can you do it instead? I think you need to do something, do it yourself.
Do you think almost like, if you, again, that thinking, isn't it? It's almost like, it's like saying you get the ball in midfield. Well, that's the council's job.
Yeah,
why should I go and get the ball?
That's the midfielder's job. You've got
a mad example of that. But
yeah.
Okay.
It is, you've got to take it into your own hands sometimes.
Yeah. Again, litter is all relative. You know, actually, where I am down in Thurrock, it's really bad. You know, when I work down there, but it's still you get fly tipping, etc., don't you, and stuff like that. Okay, last couple of minutes, so we're going to conclude now. Has it been interesting asking your parents questions about where you're from, etc.? You found it interesting? 7? You found it interesting?
I find it interesting. Like, I like history a lot, and finding out about my roots and stuff. I enjoy hearing about it, and knowing, oh, you moved here from this time to this place, and this happened before, and it's like you feel like you're in a movie. It's like, oh, this happened to you. That's amazing, and I find it really fascinating how, like, my roots and everything, because I'm like obsessed with learning about history and stuff like that.
Do you think you'd like to study history? Are you doing history at school at the moment?
Yeah.
GCSE, is it?
GCSE, yeah.
GCSE. What have you been studying recently?
We've been doing the Cold War.
Cold War?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Excellent. That's, yeah. I'll go on then, we'll run out of time. Young man, enjoyed looking back, about your heritage?
Yeah, my heritage is like it's kind of like, it's weird and confusing at the same time, because like my mom and dad, they met when they were in Nigeria. Like my mom was because my mom's from Cameroon, my dad's from Nigeria. They met, I think, in Nigeria or something like that. And then my dad went around Cyprus. My dad went to Cyprus. He went to a lot of countries, personally trying to find a place. And then we went to Austria, where I was born, where all of us were born, me and my sisters. And then we moved obviously to Ireland, stayed at Ireland for a couple of years, then moved here. So it's like, it's weird. It's like, it's a long story, but I mean, like my mum and dad, I think that they would have to have gone through that period of time, moving from country to country to like find Harlow at this point. So like, it's something that they had to do, like to find places.
One of the ladies, in conclusion, would like to say anything about what you found this interesting process?
I like learning about history, like Seven. I like discovering my roots, and you kind of find that if you ask your parents or family one thing, you end up finding a lot of other things out.
Yeah.
So with my granddad, if I ask him one question, he'll go on until I'm learning about great-great-granddads that fought in the war or something. And I really like just learning about my roots and how the world came to be this way.
Okay. Well, in conclusion, I'd just like to say this has been a fantastic hour that we've had. I think we really appreciate it, and maybe we'll all meet up in 10 years' time and do it again. Thank you very much.
Thank you.